what's going on? You're tuned into the On The Beat podcast. Make sure you follow us on IG at onthebeat.podcast. This is your boy Supa Mario, and you're tuned in to the On The Beat podcast. Let's go. Yeah, you on the beat, talking on the beat, learning on the beat, watching on the beat. Get your skills up, won't you listen up? Yeah, you tuned in live, yeah, you on the beat. The beat podcast. On the beat podcast. On the beat podcast. On the beat podcast. Yo, what's going on, man? This is your boy Supa Mario. You're tuned into the On The Beat podcast. I have a very special guest with me. I have the guru, man. I call him the iOS music production guru, man. I have Mr. Marcus Elbow, man. What's good with you, man?
Man, you know, chilling, blessed, brother, blessed. How you feeling today, man?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Everything is everything, man. Trying to survive through all this craziness we got going on in the world, man.
Yes. I send all my prayers out to anybody that's dealing with anything as far as this whole thing with this virus and all that, man. I hope people are doing well.
Oh yeah, man. For the people, man, that do not know who Marcus Elbow / elbowMedia Studios, man, Marcus, man, go ahead and let the people know who you are and kind of like give a little rundown on elbowMedia Studios and everything like that.
Yeah, man, I'm Marcus Elbow. You know what I mean? I run elbowMedia Studios on YouTube. I also have a website. I have a media company. Essentially, what I do is I teach people how to work iOS software, iOS equipment, be the iPad or the iPhone. I specialize in music production and music creation. And I'm also going to be doing some video production and some other stuff with media and stuff. So I got a lot of stuff planned, man. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. You know, a lot of people would call me Marcus Elbow, the instructor, but you know, that's what I do.
Today, I'm going to call you the guru, man. I'm going to call you the guru today,
yeah,
man.
I don't know if I deserve all that, but I appreciate you, brother, for real, for real.
Oh yeah, man. So we're gonna go in and talk about a little bit about your background. And I'm just kind of curious, how did you get your start, in music production or audio production, in a nutshell? Like, what was that defining moment where you was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this on big time?
Crazy thing is, as a young kid, I always had a love for music. You know this story with black families. My mom had the records playing all day, every day. And I was, funny story, I was watching MTV Yo Raps, and I'm a little old. I was watching MTV Yo Raps, and I saw Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, and he was scratching. And I was like, yo, that looked fun. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know, I've heard of DJs, but I didn't even, I was such a young kid. I didn't know how to get started or whatever.
Yeah.
So I went to Radio Shack out of all the places in the world. I went there and I was like, hey, I want to be a DJ. And the guy was like, okay. And he was like, you got to start with a mixer. So I bought my first mixer when I was 15 years old, man. And to be honest, I fell in love. I bought me a rinky-dink little turntable, and I started learning how to scratch, and I turned my room into a DJ. Pretty much a DJ booth. I took my bed and everything and put it in my closet. My mom thought I was crazy because I was sleeping on the floor. And then I started buying records. And then from there, I got into music production. I taught myself how to play. And really, that's another crazy story. I didn't even realize that you could take a keyboard at the time and have essentially a live-in band inside of a keyboard. I thought in order for me to do beats, I was going to need a drummer, I was going to need a guitar guy, a keyboard guy. Yeah, so I went to a music spot over on 59 when I was 17, and I asked the guy, I was like, hey man, I want to make beats. What do I need? And he was like, bro, you're going to need that right there. You're going to need that ASR 10. I don't know what just happened right there. But okay. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, I forgot you were gonna be able to edit this. I said, yeah, man, I need to do beats, and he was like, check out this ASR 10, bro. I was blown away. I didn't even know you could do that. He actually did a beat for me, and I said, how much is it? And I think it was $2,900 or something like that, or 23. And at the time, that was a lot of money for a 17-year-old, So I saved all my money, man. I worked my tail off. I bought it, got it home, and didn't even know how to turn it on. I'll never forget that. That's something I will never forget. I struggled looking for the power button, And then I realized how cool it was, once I really got started and I got my disc together and my samples.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just started producing, man. At 17, 18, I think I didn't become really confident until I was 20. Then I started flowing and got into a group, and, we went to California and did a whole bunch of cool things. But so ultimately that's how I got started, man.
Cool,
Definitely.
man. That's a very good backstory right there, man. And it's crazy. I started at the age of 20. Whatnot. I started a little bit late. I actually started when I was on military deployment, man. And I had my roommate at the time. He turned me on to Reason at that particular time, man. And I was kind of dipping and dabbing in
right there.
Yeah, I was kind of dipping and dabbing in it when I was in high school. I had a friend of mine. His dad was a musician, and he had Fruity Loops, like the earlier versions of Fruity Loops. And I just used to sit there and watch him make beats, and thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, but man, that ain't gonna be me. And lo and behold, 5 years later, I got into it or whatnot, man. So you be, starting at at the age of 17, and getting into it at 20. Can you kind of share with the people what type of music that you like to create on the regular?
The weirdest thing about me is I love all types of music, but I was into hip hop. That was my thing. I loved all type of hip hop, but West Coast, East Coast. I guess I kind of leaned a little bit towards East Coast because I was a lyricist at some point. And I really love lyrics, but I love the West Coast sound. And then when I was the Southern sound started to get bigger. I started creating that. But me, I guess the way I put it, I love R&B as well.
Yeah.
But as a music creator, I just love all types of music. I even tried to make rock music when I was younger, just to challenge myself to be able to try to use guitars and use some different things. Because back then, a lot of cats weren't really using guitar. Not the harsh guitar, electric guitar. So I started trying to play around with that. So really, I just always see myself as just someone that just love music so much I can create any type of music. And yeah, that's pretty much how I view it, as far as me as a producer.
Yeah.
I couldn't really put myself in a genre, but of course I got to go, rhythm and blues, R&B and hip hop. But given an opportunity, man, and the right sounds, I'll make any damn thing.
That's what I'm talking about, versatility, man. And I try to, push that term versatility when it comes to, creating music, because you don't never want to limit yourself. Because sometimes that could be a make or break on, opportunities that are, come about or whatnot. We're going to go ahead and segue into, branding, you being a music creative and a person that has a successful YouTube channel or whatnot. What is that one key factor that you would recommend someone that's looking into, getting their brand started and, wanting to venture into the YouTube platform and being a vlogger and stuff like that?
First thing I tell you is that, since my company specializes in branding, it's funny we talk this, but that's what I specialize in as a media company. I usually approach companies and say, hey, let's work on your branding. That's your logos and your company letterheads and anything that's got anything to do with the product you're trying to sell, as far as promoting that product and marketing that product. I would tell anybody starting out, let marketing be the forefront of what you're trying to do, because anything in this world that's successful has been marketed correctly or marketed badly, but at some point it had a marketing campaign. And I think that if you're trying to start a company, first thing you need to do is establish yourself as a brand that's creating logos or, really promoting yourself as a company using your company branding. And that will take you a very long way. A lot of guys think that if they just start out with, let's just say if we're doing a YouTube channel making beats, you're going to just pump a bunch of beats and you're just going to post them on there. Yeah, that's fine. But how can people identify with you versus identifying with someone else? You know what I mean?
Right.
And a beat is fine. You can put a tag on that, but that's another sign of branding. That's another style of branding, putting producer tags on your stuff. But you'd be surprised how far you will go if you have an identifier for people to identify you versus someone else. And that's where branding comes in. And it is super duper important. And you'd be surprised how many people I talk to and how many companies I deal with, just making sure that they have the perfect look and the perfect brand. And it's amazing. Sometimes it's crazy because sometimes the branding be so good, they intimidated by trying to get with the product to live up to the way the branding looks. So
Right.
I've had that happen a couple of times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'd rather have that problem all day long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all about how you present it to someone.
Yeah, man.
Presentation is everything.
That's good gems that you gave right there, man. I think you have a lot of music creatives out there that's coming up, and some are good on the branding side, but then they kind of get stuck in that one shell and they don't know how to venture out or whatnot. So that's good gems, man. Definitely people out there, you know what I'm saying, if you want to work on your branding and stuff like that, that's the Marcus Elbow, man. Definitely hit him up, man. We'll have his contact information right after we finish up with the interview or whatnot. We kind of want to segue, man, and we really want to talk about, you know, your YouTube channel, elbowMedia Studios, if I got that correct.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna start off, man. You know what I'm saying? How did you get started in the iOS music production world? You know, because when I discovered you because I heard one of my colleagues, my producer friends, and he was real big into making beats on the iPad. I'm not exactly sure if y'all ever ran across each other, but his name is D-Dot.
Yeah, I've ran across him. Yeah.
Okay. And you know what I'm saying, I saw him doing it and everything, and I was very, very intrigued on that. And so I had picked up an iPad for other purposes, but I was like, well, since how I got it, I'm gonna kind of dib and dab in it. Start searching on YouTube, and you was one of the first people that popped up, man. So how did you get started in that?
Well, this is it's simple. I love Reason. You brought Reason up. I actually told myself that I was going to become an expert at using Reason. So, and people don't know, Reason is a product that's made by Propellerhead that has been one of the, for me, a great music production piece of software for Mac and PC users. I didn't really use a lot of Fruity Loops. I had Pro Tools because Pro Tools was standard, as we all know. But I like doing my beats on Reason, so I started teaching. And to be honest with you, back in 2008, my channel was already starting to take off. I didn't realize how good I was at teaching until the channel was up for probably about 2 or 3 months. Okay. And I was almost at 1,000 subscribers. And back then, I didn't even realize the impact. It was just kind of too much at the time because people started hitting me up. Hey, man, teach me how to do it. And I wasn't prepared because I was starting a record label at the time as well. Okay. So I was like, oh, man, I can't do this because I don't want to start something and I can't really fully, commit myself to it. So I kind of backed off. And this is crazy. I took a 6-year hiatus because I just was really not really trying to do that. I had some other career things I was trying to do. Yeah. So about a year ago, I got the kids in college, and I'm sitting around in my studio, and I got all this equipment, and I'm asking my wife, I'm like, man, I don't even know how to get back started in Reason because I've been working with just because I didn't do it on YouTube, I was still working with Reason, mixing projects and all that, working on people's albums and things like that. And I was like, babe, I don't know if I want to start really teaching Reason again, because at this point, Reason is kind of getting a little old. There's a lot of competition out there. You know what I mean? With Studio One and with even Fruity Loops has came such a long way with them really adding that DAW aspect to their stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I don't really know if I really want to do Fruity Loops because me and Fruity Loops kind of had a love-hate relationship. I really didn't like it in its infancy. And it was just kind of hard for me to wrap my brain around just wanting to do Fruity Loops. Anyway, so I went on YouTube and I typed in, music production apps. I didn't know what I was looking for. And the guy popped up. It was, who was it? I think it was Marb for Beats. I think he had popped up and he was working on an iPad. And I'm like, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't really see it. You know what I'm saying? And then I kind of flipped through, and it was Bolo and Brandon Rico and a couple of these guys. They're all doing it. And I'm looking at this, but one thing I did notice about all of them was they were working on the iPad, but I couldn't really tell how they were doing it. You know what I mean? Mm. So I had an iPad, I had a 12.9. So I went looking for the app, and beatmaker 3 kept popping up. beatmaker 3. I said, okay, let me go look at it. Mm-hmm. I brought it up on my iPad. I bought it. It was like $25. And I was like, whoa, hold on. wait a minute. This can't be real because I don't know if this is gonna really work. Let me put it through the paces. So I jacked it into my studio and I really start working on it and pushing the envelope to see how much stuff can I do. I went and bought some plugins, and it was holding its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I said, you know what? This is something that I think I should talk about, just for some of the cats that don't believe that this is actually a viable way of doing music. You know what I'm saying? Then after I started doing my research and looking at the history of iOS, it's been around for a while. It's just, like I said, it didn't have that confidence. You know, it didn't have an ambassador to talk about it, somebody to really convince people like yourself that, hey, this is actually pretty cool. Let me show you. And after me looking at all these different channels, and no knock to them, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing it. I said, I'm going to present it in a different way. You know what I mean? I'm going to present it in a way that when they see it, they're going to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to do a screen record. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to make it clear and precise enough that what you could say, yo, wait a minute, I'm going to go buy me an iPad because I think I like what he's doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's how I got started, man. 12 months ago. I think it's like, 13 months at this point.
Oh, really? So it hasn't really been up that long. So it's just like brand new.
Yeah, if you go to my channel, I mean, my first video was it was like 13 months ago.
Man, you got a lot of content on your channel because I didn't even know it was that new. Man, people, look, go on his YouTube channel, man, elbowMedia Studios. You got a lot of content up there, and you just don't talk about just iOS. You also have a few other tutorials about a couple other gears as well, right?
Yeah, we definitely looking forward. And what I've been doing, I've been recruiting some instructors because I really want to make sure that people that I recruit for this, that's why I called it elbowMedia Studios, because I do want to be able to bring a lot of different things, like a lot of different mobile products, a lot of different softwares, and kind of introduce people to things that they just haven't seen or they don't think they can do, especially for the novice producer that's thinking, man, I can't get into this. It's too expensive. As this is that. That's what I'm really focusing on, is trying to make this, approachable. You know what I'm saying? Make music, doing beats approachable. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I think we all know as music producers, it is a lot more approachable than it was when I paid $2,300 or $2,900 for the ASR 10, back eons ago. But my job as an instructor and an ambassador of this movement is to make sure that you're clear about your purchase and you're clear about what you can and cannot do. The only thing that's going to stop you is you yourself.
Yeah, man. Much. Yeah, man. And when I came across you, I was lost, and you had a couple of videos in the beginning, kind of like put a lot of things in perspective, especially on beatmaker 3, man. So like I said, man, I salute you for what you're doing. Showing the people, how to really get in there and get busy on beatmaker 3. If it was one thing you could recommend someone that was out there interested in, iOS music production, what is some of the starter gear that a person would need besides the iPad to get started working in a beatmaker 3 or Cubases or help me out there, Marcus. What else they got out there?
Nano Studio 2.
Okay.
And you got a few of them out there. I mean, we can go through them. They got a few, but the core of it, if I was someone that was getting started and you were looking to get into it, you definitely need to get the starter show, which is the iPad. You don't need an iPad. You don't need an iPad. You can actually use an iPhone. I started this series called Beginner's Guide to Becoming an iOS Music Producer. I started that probably about 5 weeks ago. And I'm trying to take someone that has no music experience, no music production experience. And I'm trying to take them from just having their phone and saying, hey, I got a phone, I got some earphones. Can I do this? Yes, you can. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I kind of want to start. And unfortunately, it hasn't really taken off the way I wanted it to. At least that's what I thought. I'll share a quick story with you. I had one of my buddies, we went to school together. He called me with his son on the phone, and his son wanted to talk to me. And he's like, hey, Uncle Elbow, you know what I mean? Say, man, listen to this beat I just did. And I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So he let me hear the beat. And he was like, I watched every video in your series, man, and I did a beat. And he was so excited.
That's
that
awesome,
sometimes I think, you know, as creators and YouTube creators, we lose sight of the fact that sometimes it ain't always about how many views you get.
Right,
sometimes it just got to be about who you've reached. You know what I'm saying? And I think that series may be at about 2,300 views. And it really made me really think about the reason why I started this. I did not start this to make money or to, you know, gain fame or anything like that. I started this so that I could reach young minds like that mind that I reached. And it really brought it back home to me. So I'm going to continue that series. I've just been kind of doing some other things, but I'm making my way back around to it. You know what I mean? And like you said, you know, you said something that really keyed in. And this is for creators, people that are trying to do what I'm doing. You got to work hard at doing this, and you got to try to be the best you can, because like you said, you got a lot of content. It's only been 13 months. I think I'm at about 60 videos or something like that. And my thing is consistency. And my thing is, if you believe in something and you're really passionate about it, then don't have any excuses. Don't make excuses for yourself. Just get it done, and get it done to the best of your ability. You don't have to be better than the next Marcus Elbow or the Marcus Elbow or Brandon or all these other people that's doing this. Just be as good as you can be. And it's going to come. It's going to happen. Just like with music production. When I started out making beats, I had a Casio, and it was, you know, it didn't sound that great. You know what I mean? But I knew I had something, because when I would let people hear, they'd be like, yo, that's kind of tight. What you did that on? I'll pull out that little ranky-dank Casio. He'd be like, yo, son, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna pay you no money. Yeah, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna give you no money for that. But, you know what I mean? But I just think that, you know, if you just work hard, man, and while your competition is asleep, you're up working, you know, you're going to go places in this business and in life, period.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's definitely what's up, man. There's another gems out there, folks. Definitely take heed to what he said, man. I got a question for you, Marcus. And we're just gonna stick on the subject of iOS music production. Do you think the iOS music production and the community can take iOS, the whole iOS music platform to the next level for its future, the future of music making? Do you ever can you see that like in a major part, like competing up there with the Abletons and the Fruity Loops and other beat making softwares?
Of course. What changed that was stems. I mean, let's just be real. You know what I mean? When I was going to the studio back in the day, I used to bring my whole keyboard. I used to have to know MIDI. I used to have to know all these different ways to transfer that information to the board, or to, you know, whatever that engineer was working on. And it was tough, because I used to get jobs because, I mean, I'm an undercover nerd on the low, but I used to get jobs because cats didn't know how to transfer their tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so the rappers would be like, yo, son, I like the beat, but I need to be able to track that out. Oh, man, I don't really understand MIDI. And if the engineer didn't understand MIDI, then you just really got a keyboard that's got a bunch of beats. And we know you ain't two-tracking no beat in no major studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that ain't happening. I need to be able to break it down. So I think when stems became a real hit, and this digital movement started, I think that changed the game. Because to be honest with you, if I could make a beat, right, and let's just be real, you're gonna always have to use another platform to process and to master and to get the stuff to sound, you know, up to, you know, real quality and to the next level. You know what I'm saying? But the pre-production part of it it's not changed. You know what I'm saying? And I think the iPad is strong enough. It ain't super strong. Now, I'm not going to pump this up, but in reality, they're making the iPad essentially strong enough to be able to do everything you need to do. And there are workarounds that I've talked about and other creators have talked about to get around some of the nuances that's limited by the software, not the hardware.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think what I try to tell people is that go out and support these devs, because what's happening is they're not making a lot of money. These apps are very cheap. So just take, for instance, Fab Filter. I don't know if you use Fab Filter effects and processors, but if you go get that on a PC or Mac version, it's crazy expensive. Yeah. But we already know it's a very great application that does what it does it well. But if you go get that on the iOS platform, it's $125.
Right.
I don't even think you can get one module for that if you're doing it on the desktop version. Yeah. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that the devs are not making a lot of money. So if they're not making a lot of money, they're not going to pump a lot of resources in to continue to try to make this thing more stable, more just mainstream. They're not going to do that because they're not making any money. So go support them, because when we support them, that lets them know, hey, this thing is actually moving. And if it starts moving, of course, it's just like anything else. It's profit in it. As long as there's a profit in it, they're going to keep working on it. It's going to keep getting better. So the short answer, which I just gave you the long answer, but
no, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly. The short answer is yes. I believe that people pulling up to a studio with an iPad and Wi-Fi is going to be just as powerful as the guy that's sitting in the other room with 4 or 5 different, ways to make beats and pumping them out that way. It's only as good as the creator. This is what I love. If you're good at making beats and you are just a great creator, you're a great producer, I love it that you're not limited because I got a phone and he has an MPC. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I could bring the life on my phone. Now, it might not be generated. The sound card might not be the same. You know what I mean? But if I can stem this out and you can engineer my beat the same way you engineer the MPC, I think we should still be on the same playing field. Exactly. I'm just being real, because these samples have been around for eons. 808 has been around forever. A lot of people are like, oh man, the 808 has been around, bro, since I was a kid. You know what I mean? But what I love about what they're doing with the 808 is that they're using dynamics and they're tweaking the 808. Now the 808 sounds more like a monster sometimes when it's coming through. It don't just have that boom. Now it's got that you know what I'm saying? Something that we used to call, let's say, bro, that boy need to get his license plate tightened up, but he didn't come through. Now that's tight right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just think that music had to evolve, and it has evolved into something pretty dope. I love what Cass is doing with drums. I love the way that Cass are mismatched. Like, Cass won't even hit their drums on a measure that you expect it to come on. See, music is rhythm. We're already African descent. So for us, music is it's a rhythm. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you change that rhythm and you change that, I thought the kick was going to hit there, or the kick was going to hit, it hit, oh Lord, now you changing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I love what's happening with music right now. So yeah, bro, I think we're in a golden age right now for music production, Exactly. Seriously.
Yeah, I think, music production and technology, man, is definitely in a shift, is in a transition right now, man. And it's just so much. It's like every year it's just breathing in new possibilities, to do a lot of music production. And what I love about the iPad, or even the iPhone, just the whole iOS thing, is the portability of it. You can actually get a small keyboard and get the iPad and maybe a couple other peripherals that you'll need, put that in your backpack, and you're good to go or whatnot.
And you're gone.
Yeah, man. And what you mentioned about earlier about the stems and everything like that, is that you can do something on the iPad and you could take it out of there or whatnot.
Yep.
Do you have anything? Do you have any type of advice or suggestions for, let's say, an audio engineer that's looking to, dib and dab in the iOS music platform? And is there anything out there that they can use on that aspect for as recording or mixing on iOS?
Are you talking about for the drivers, as far as the software that you would probably recommend to get the best sound? Is that what you're saying?
No, just kind of like just everyday working, kind of like if they want to mix, let's say, for instance, they working with someone, or they want to try to capture a guitarist, for example, and they're out and about traveling, and let's say they stop into a city, they got a buddy, he doing guitar riffs or whatever, and he wants to capture that. Are there any type of programs out there or anything that they need to pick up, specialty that'll work for those type of applications?
Well, of course, you're going to need an audio interface. Of course, you're going to need something to interface with your iPad. And if you're talking guitars, you're definitely going to need something to bring that data in from a live analog and convert to digital and bring it inside of your iPad. iRig has some cool stuff. They have this small little converter that you can jack straight in a microphone or a guitar and bring it straight in. And that's the thing about, I think sometimes that's the stuff that get a lot of people hung up about the iOS, is because they're like, okay, I get it. Okay, I see what you're doing. But I feel sometimes limited because I don't know the peripherals to get with this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of cats just don't realize that it then came so far that a lot of this stuff is common MIDI compliant. It's just the same thing you're using for your PC is the same thing you can use for your iOS. You know what I mean?
And that's something I learned.
That.
That's something I learned through my journey. Like I was like, I got this interface over here just sitting, and I never knew that it was Class A. I heard Class A compliant, but it never.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, what I'm gonna use?
It didn't dawn on you because again, you look at the
yeah.
iPad. The iPad has a stigma of being a media consumption device. This is a thing where I can watch Netflix, or I can maybe do a few simple things. But it has come so far that people just don't realize it until I show something. Or just 2 nights ago, I hooked up a mixer. I mean, I'm talking an 8-track full audio interface mixer to my phone. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And I had everything running through it, and I had my microphone, I had my Newman mic, and Cap's like, bro, your mic hooked up? And it's like, yo, it could be done. You know what I'm saying? So don't let that be, the reason why. And again, I get it. I'm not going to be, one of those guys that say, hey, man, the iOS is producing, the quality is up there with the Pro Tools and all these large. I can't do that. Right. Because these softwares, the processing power that a PC or a Mac has, and the ability to put so many different audio units or plugins inside of that software, you just can't compete with that. But what you can do on a realistic level is start your projects on an iPad at a high level, and then bring that into a larger platform in order for you to continue moving and making that music as strong as you can. So if someone out there and they saying, hey, can I go straight from the iPad to BeatStars or to any place? Yeah, you can do that. But the question you got to ask yourself, am I really doing my music as just do? Am I really pushing it to the next level? Because you're still trying to compete with that next guy that said, hey, I'm gonna do my stuff on the iPad, but I'm gonna push it over to Studio One or Reason or Pro Tools or whatever, master it there, or send it off and get it mastered and then try to do it there. You know what I mean? So, but you can do it. Don't never think that you're limited where you can't do it. You just got to really have equipment around you. That's another thing that people don't realize. And one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of mixing on my channel is because mixing is subjective, really based on the equipment that you're using. So if you're using some AirPods or you're using some headphones that may not be, up the spec of what you should be hearing relative to what's coming out of your iPad or anything you're using, you're not going to really get the precise sound that you're looking for or you're listening for. So I think, I just want to say, because a lot of people ask me to mix, that's the thing. Mark, man, I love the way your stuff sounds. It always sounds good, but there is a truth to being experienced and having a trained ear. That's something that just takes time. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have the right equipment. I do talk about that on my channel, different headphones and different things like that you need. I'm about to really start getting into some monitors and reference monitors, some things that you can use to help you get that sound that you're looking for, to get that true representation of what you're hearing. And that's going to be in some of my master classes and some stuff I'm doing on Patreon. But I am planning on doing that. But yeah, just remember, to the people out there that are young and are trying to get that thickness, because the problem sometimes with iOS is a lot of your stuff just be thin. You know what I mean? It's just like it's got those thin layers, and you need to fatten that up and stuff. They got different plugins out there that can help you with that. But as me and you both know, mixing is something that takes time. It takes time, it takes experience, it takes someone that just listens to a lot of different reference music to get to where you want to be. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really do that a lot on my channel.
Well, man, that's cool, gems, man. And it's so much more we could talk about this, man, but time is definitely running short, and everything like that, man. But hey, man, I just appreciate you, man, just coming on and sharing your story and just sharing the information and the gems about iOS music production, man. And lastly but not least, the last question, man. What's next for Marcus Elbow and elbowMedia Studios, man? I know you shed light on a couple of things you're going to, want to do in the future. Just kind of like share with us real quick. What's next on your radar?
Well, right now I'm just building a team, man. I'm building a team of instructors, and I just want to start really teaching on a global scale. The guys and gals that I'm coming across that are a good fit for what we're doing, that kind of have some of the same ways of kind of going about things. And a lot of these guys have a lot of experience, 20 years plus. So we're definitely going to take this whole iOS music production, just music in general and creation and everything to the next level. And we're going to have a lot of master classes and a lot of ways for you to get great information on how to become a great producer or a great creator. That's really the ultimate goal, is to be able to have a platform where anyone and everyone can come and learn how to do something that we've been doing for years. And we love it so much. We just want to do it at a high level. And that's what we're going to be offering.
Awesome, man. Well, like I said, hey, I just want to thank you for coming on the On The Beat podcast and, just chopping it up with me and letting the folks know and giving them a little bit more clear vision on what iOS music production is and the advantages, and it's also some of the disadvantages as well, man. What I want you to do, man, is go ahead and kick out all your social media information and how people can find you on social media, and shoot out any type of promotional things that you want to, and also shoot out some shout outs as well, man. You got the floor, man. Go ahead.
That's what's up, man. You can find me at elbowMedia Studios on all the social media platforms. You type me in Google, it ain't too many elbows out there, you know what I mean? So just type in elbowMedia Studios and I should pop up. But it's elbowMedia on Facebook, elbowMedia_studios on Instagram, Marcus Elbow on Instagram. And I have two different kinds because I want to give you some personal insight on the Marcus Elbow stuff. And elbowMedia, we just keeping it, just a lot of branding over there for elbowMedia Studios. I want to send a shout out to all the community, everybody that's following me, everybody that gives me great feedback on what I'm trying to do and what we're presenting and what we're bringing to the table. I appreciate all of those guys and girls that really love what's going on with the movement that we're trying to really do here. And so I want to send a shout out to all you guys. I want to send a shout out to my Patreon. If you want to support the channel, you want to support the movement, you can go over to Patreon.com/elbowMedia Studios. That way you can become a member and you can get some free stuff. And you also can get some behind the scenes stuff. That stuff is great. You know what I mean? If you want to know how I set things up. And, a lot of people are trying to do this YouTube thing and they're trying to do it at a high level. Again, if you want to learn how to do that, come over to my Patreon. You can see some of that stuff happen in real time. So, but yeah, just want to send a shout out to Big Baby, man, and you and Baby. Snag, and everybody I've been meeting. I can't remember everybody's name, but I'm trying to come familiar with you guys, because that's what the community is about. I'm not just doing this just to say, hey, hey man, look at me. You know what I'm saying? I really want to do this to help everybody grow, and I want to continue to grow myself. So thanks to people like you, and I love what you do, and everybody out there that's on this movement, man, just keep doing it and keep creating, man, because that's what life is about, creation.
That's it, man. That is it, man. Definitely, man. Again, thank you for coming on. People, if you want to get into iOS music production and want some in-depth knowledge on that, definitely check out the guru, Mr. Marcus Elbow, man. And whatnot. Definitely go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. He's definitely be on it, and he lets you know, hey, you're going live. You go live on Fridays, right? Every Friday or
every Friday. Every Friday at 6:00 Central. So we're thinking about moving it to 7, but for right now it's 6:00 Central. Follow me on Instagram and all that. Oh, and also on Twitter as well. Marcus Elbow on Twitter, elbowMedia on Twitter. And I put out the post letting everybody know I'm online, I'm live and all that, man. You got to come check the lives out. Crazy
people
in there.
Check them out.
You got to come check that out, man. We're having fun up in there.
Check them out. It's very interactive live stream show on YouTube. I'm in there when I'm available on Fridays at 6. And trust me, when you're in there, you're definitely going to learn something, and it's a vibe when you're in there. It's like, and the way you have everything set up, the camera angles, man, it's definitely feel like I'm right there in the room with you, man. Marcus, man, I appreciate you so much coming on, sharing all the knowledge, dropping all the gems on iOS music production and everything like that, man. I wish you so much success in, going forward with what you have going on. And I'm definitely going to be there supporting. Anytime you need to come on the Beat podcast to promote something, man, you have an open doormat, man. Just come on, step on in, knock on, and I got you, man.
Yes,
For real,
sir.
for real.
That's what's up, man. I definitely appreciate that, my brother. Hey,
sir.
man, and you continue to keep doing what you're doing, and as long as I'm around, I'm gonna promote you and uplift you, and we're gonna keep it moving, man. So thank you for having me on. I definitely appreciate it, my brother, and continued success for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Hey, guys, this has been the On The Beat podcast. You've been rocking with your boy Supa Mario, Marcus Elbow. Make sure you go follow him on all his social platforms. I have all of that at the video. You already know what it is. This has been your boy Supa Mario on The Beat podcast. We out. Peace.